My feeling around spirituality is that it is experiential, it's real, it's alive, powerful, deep. As a person comes along and wants to create a well, so they're digging, just digging. But what about the water itself? What about drinking from the water? I'm interested in drinking. That sort of intoxication of the Holy Spirit. That's why we do the meditation, for that experience. So, hello, thank you all for having me. Namaste. My name is Brian. I'm a wandering monk. I've been traveling now for the past 13 years or so on the road, from city to city, and sharing this special energy, or one could say a kind of holy container where people can connect into their own soul. And this was all by the inspiration of my teacher, Sri Swami Purna Maharaj, who sits right here on the altar. He was the one who asked me in 2012 to renounce everything. At that time I was running a financial planning business, very successful, easy life, and after his guidance, I left everything. I sold the business, sold my car, gave away my clothes, most of them, except for the gold and orange ones. And got a van, put a bed in the van, and set off on the road into the sunset. Did you ever see that show, Kung Fu? Kwai Chang Kang? Yeah, like that. Like that. And at first I had to sleep in my van a lot, because I had slept on that van, because I didn't really know how to ask for help whenever I got to a town. So I'd come into town and the church would have me lead a meditation or do a talk or something. And I just was too embarrassed to ask for someone to help me. So I went back to my van and I slept in the van. And I did that oftentimes, like next to a park. In the morning I would go into the park bathroom and I'd give my little sponge bath. I'm surprised I do that even to today, that I actually did that. So, but now I have actually learned to ask for help. And and usually someone is honored to house a wandering monk. Those daring ones, brave ones, willing to invite someone new into their house. Seems like a big deal to some people, It was a golden age long ago on Earth where the majority of the people were enlightened, 99%. And I would be able to travel across the continent and knock on anyone's door and say, "Hi, I'm hungry, I need a place to sleep, can you help me?" And they would gladly invite me into their space and give me a meal. And then I would just move on, right? It was a golden age. Now, not so much. People are scared. So, one of the purposes of spirituality is to clear all one's fears. Let go. Invite that person in as a guest who you don't know. Explore the unknown. Explore your fears. That's how you overcome and purify yourself. It's not an easy road. Who's willing to give up everything and live with really nothing? No house. All I have is a Toyota Prius. So, I would say that centers for spiritual living have been probably my greatest supporter, with one other organization, but really in terms of being open to something that's mystical, And you were speaking about that, which I really feel defines the mystical path, the desire to know the infinite or the one God, to experience that directly, to realize that. That's the mystical path. And when you enter into the mystical, you let go of all religion. Now some people are like, I can't do that. That's impossible. You know, they say when you enter into your own soul, there's no room for anyone else, including any of your concepts and ideas about what God is. You must enter completely naked, like a baby. Gandhi once said, you can't strip a naked man. So he wore very little, it's very symbolic. When he went to visit some of the great rulers of the world, like it was the Prime Minister of Britain, what was his name? Churchill, yeah, made fun of him. Did not like Gandhi at all. This naked man causing such problems for the British Empire. And that was the key, his nakedness. Stripping himself of all clothes, all desires. When you have no desires for the world, what can anyone take from you? No more suffering, because you can't lose anything. That was Gandhi. That's why he was so bold, because he had nothing to lose. I love that concept. That's what a monk is. A monk is someone who has nothing to lose, who's put all his or her eggs in one basket, and that basket is God. That's the only basket. That's all I want. Everything else is dust. Power, fame, money, shelter, friends, everything else, nothing compared to the Almighty, the Supreme. Put all of my faith therein. I surrender myself and everything that I am unto that Supreme Being. That was Gandhi. In his case, his word for that was Ram. In fact, Gandhi sang when he was gathering together with all the leaders of India. He sang a song before he even began. Before he began the meeting. This is kind of unusual. I kind of wish they did this in Congress. He would sing that song with everyone together, all the politicians. Honoring God, and that, as I said, in that case, Ram. Ram means that which is in the hearts of all beings. Ram, that which is everywhere. And then, Gandhi was so obsessed with Ram, that name for God, that you know what he spoke when he was assassinated at the end of his life? Shot. And the moment he was shot, dying, he simply said, "Hey Ram." And that was the end of Gandhi. And Tolstoy, after that, wrote that 500 years from now, no one will even believe that such a man walked on this earth. Tolstoy is a great friend of both Martin Luther King and Gandhi. No one would have believed such a man existed. A man who was naked, that took down the British Empire, simply because his shield, his weapon, was Ram. That's all he cared about. What a great, shining example. All of us. No fear of getting disease or dying. If you led a fearless life, what would you do? I mean, you'd be a different person. a lot of people, they start to get on in life, they're walking around like this, more and more. The heaviness and weight of life. Those people who have no fear, they walk around happiness glowing everywhere. What a life. That's what I call freedom. Do you know, in yogis in India, to overcome their fears, you know what they do? Crazy stuff. They go into the icy cold rivers and sit and stand there all day and sort of, gazing at the sun, chanting sun mantras to overcome their fear of freezing, of cold. Or they sit in like a hot, when it's like, in India nowadays, it gets up to 125 degrees. Did you know that? Global warming. It's incredible, 125 degrees. You could fry eggs on the cement with that. And so they would sit in a hot sun and just meditate to get out of the pain. Because once you go into deep meditation, there's no more pain. You are beyond pain, beyond this body. You are entering into a realm that is beyond this world. That's where you find the soul. This is also why meditation is so crucial. If we're always exteriorly engaged, you know what I mean? Always experiencing the goodies of life. I want this, I want to eat that, I want to see that, I want to taste that. You spend one's whole life like that. Then how do you live? Earth consciousness. I am a body. You see my passport? This is me. Spiritual being has no location. Cannot say I am here or I am there. That's the term Ram. I am everywhere. There's nothing but me. A direct experience of that. No more caught in one location. Non-local. That's spirit. One must enter into meditation, into the stillness of one's being in order to realize that. Otherwise, it's always going to be earth consciousness. Which then, and depending on whether you believe in this or not, at the point of death, there are karmas that believe in earth consciousness and an individual identity that propel the soul to take on another body and live the same thing. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. The Buddha calls it the wheel of samsara. How many lifetimes have we taken on without really genuinely searching for the soul? So, of course, some yogis, and particularly Buddhists, say, I've had enough of this wheel of samsara. Call it a hamster wheel. What do they call it? A rat wheel. It's like they're going in a circle and they're not getting anywhere. I just feel like telling the hamster, get off that. It's got this automatic, it's nature. It wants to do that. Similarly, humans get on a roll, taking on these bodies. This is fun. It's very exciting. Think about it. You get to have ice cream, and chocolate, pizza. Oh my God, who wouldn't want those things? Since Lent, I gave up coffee. And I haven't drank coffee since. I was so surprised. So, unbinding oneself from earthly things, allowing your consciousness to rise into other realms of reality. This, to me, is very exciting. I want to go there. I've done a lot of physical lifetimes. So I've done, that phrase, been there, done that. We can call that a spiritual phrase. Been there, done that. What next? Then the spiritual seeker is born. What next? The earlier the better. It's just that so often, that doesn't really occur to us until we're really on our deathbed, about to die. And then we just, what did I just do? None of the stuff that I accumulated, including this body, will go with me. All of it will be left behind. Who am I? Where am I? Where is my true self? So I just described to you really my own path in a nutshell. And I seem to be like a cheerleader for people. You can do it too. Sparking that desire. Because if you have a strong passion to find your soul, nothing will stop you. No matter if the world is falling to pot. Doesn't matter. You still want to find God. So, my hope is that this afternoon, some people would want to join the gathering. It starts at 12:30. It will be more of an immersive into the spiritual energy, kind of like getting it in your bones. So you can take some of the practices, use it at home, and actually enhance your spiritual connection, your meditation. That's my hope. So it would be wonderful to see you. And I just wanted to thank Reverend Robert for believing in me, even though he never met me before until just a couple days ago. So I thank you for the invitation. And namaste.